everything that's happening is really sorry. It's really just a cancer showing different symptoms. So,
Dr. Dawes, you know, when you hear me say that, that's all the time I have. But I have to kind of wrap what you'd have said. You'd have said you prefer, from your perspective, that there are wholesale reforms and not just, you know, money being used as a solution to many of the problems, but wholesale health care sector reform. So thank you for speaking with us, Dr. Dawes. And of course, earlier we had Dr. Christopher Tufton, Minister of Health and Wellness as well, who spoke to us about the Victoria Jubilee Hospital situation, the Western Regional Health Authority, the opening of clinics, 130 plus clinics over the last 5 years, and some other issues. That's all the time we have for Lead Story this evening. I am Sondre Roden. Until next time, walk good. News is after this.
Thanks so much for joining us for CVM News Afternoon. It's Wednesday, July 2, 2025. I am Curlin Brown, and we begin with a major development in the Mario Dean case. A police corporal has been sentenced to 5 years in prison for her role in the death of the 31-year-old while in police custody nearly 11 years ago. Corporal Elaine Stewart was sentenced in the Westmoreland Circuit Court on Tuesday for manslaughter as well as misconduct in public office and perverting the course of justice. The sentences will run concurrently, meaning she will serve a total of 5 years. Now, 2 other officers, Constables Marlon Grant and Julian Clevon, were each given suspended sentences of 3 years for manslaughter and 2 years for misconduct in public office. Dean was arrested in 2014 for possession of a ganja spliff and taken to the Barnett Street Police Station in Montego Bay, where he was later denied bail and beaten while in custody. A post-mortem later revealed Dean suffered blunt force trauma and signs of suffocation. The ruling closes a long-standing case that raised national concern about abuse in police lockups. Motorists and residents in a Westmoreland community are fuming over what they say have been years of neglect, the condition of their roads, which has not only left them frustrated, but financially drained. Here's more details from our reporter Akeem Orrit.
This is what daily life looks like for residents of Hudson Street in Savlamar, Westmoreland, navigating potholes, broken pavements, and what they describe as a deplorable roadway. One resident says for such a big town, there should be greater representation.
Big river town, because you can see, we want good MP for everything. We don't have nothing to go on as well. All I chop much up right now. Right now, I'm making it me go here now. As you can see, I drive my bad road.
The residents are also pointing fingers at the National Water Commission (NWC), accusing the agency of making a bad situation worse.
Water Commissioner then walk and dig up everywhere and no fixing back. Instead of fix back, they dig up more. I look where man them will fix the road pan, where we have to give them a thing, and then barely patchy. Otherwise, nothing is not going.
The residents say that despite numerous complaints, no representative from the related authorities has responded to their plight.
We complain, but we don't do it in our vein still. But when I do it much better, we are waiting to see.
The locals are calling for immediate attention and accountability. Akeem Orrit, CVM News.
And in the wake of growing national concern surrounding the deaths of 24 newborns at the Victoria Jubilee Hospital, Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton has shed light on this heartbreaking issue. Speaking on CVM's lead story, Dr. Tufton continues to emphasize that majority of the infants who died were born prematurely. The Health Minister explains further the importance of hospital visits during pregnancy, noting these checkups play a crucial role in the early detection of complications and the overall development of the baby. He cites data on mothers who visited a health center for the first 13 weeks of their pregnancy.
The data that I have is that while we have been improving from 22% in 2018 to 45% in 2024 for mothers to appear to a health center within the first trimester, that's the first 13 weeks, the very early stages of the baby developing inside the womb, only 44% of mothers actually turn up in that first trimester. And we do have cases where they turn up even later, right? Much later. That's not to blame the mothers, because I think we all have a responsibility. The system has to do more outreach, and we have to make it easier and also educate and inform and persuade persons who are pregnant to conform to a certain lifestyle and follow the regime of visitation.
The government's notice of its intention not to renew the All-Island electricity generation license currently held by the Jamaica Public Service Company, the JPS, at the end of its license term in 2027 has prompted questions about why previous administrations did not take similar action. Speaking on CVM's lead story Prime, Energy Minister Darrell Vaz was asked what gave this government the confidence to take such a bold position when others did not.
The previous go-around where negotiation of license was concerned with JPS, what is it that has put this government in the position to be able to take this bold step when the previous time when the license was being sorted out, that government was not in that position then? What would you identify as the big difference?
Well, the truth of the matter is the international recognition that Jamaica has got in terms of its fiscal prudence over the last few years. So much so that Jamaica is actually the poster country for COVID and post-COVID. There's no two ways about that. So there's a lot of interest in investing in Jamaica, which may not have been there at that time based on different policies and different outcomes. So that gives me quite a bit of confidence to know that my options are open. And if I need to go to that option, then I am sure and confident that the response will be good.
The government has said it will use the 2 years to finalize its next steps as negotiations with JPS continue. Residents in the community of Seaforth St. Thomas are concerned mining activities taking place is threatening their main source of reliable domestic water supply. Raymond Morrison has their story.
Once a lifetime for residents of Seaforth in St. Thomas, the river is now a source of anger and what many locals see as a symbol of neglect. Several residents took to the streets to protest, saying the ongoing mining operations in the area have polluted and disrupted their access to clean flowing water.
Now I have to go a Whitehall for water, Clooney Road, with the truck. We come fully to my yard, we come fully tank them. Can't get no water in a pipe, no time at all. River you can't go wash no clothes, there's nothing can happen. All the day is dirty water. In the pipe, whole day, no water. Over 6 months now, no water come in the pipe.
The residents are calling to the government to step in and restore their access to the river, which they said is a reliable source for washing, bathing, and daily chores, urging authorities to hold mining operators accountable.
There is no potable water running in the pipes, and as a result, they have been extremely dependent on the river. However, unfortunately, there's a mining operation taking place in this area, and it is being done in a very reckless and irresponsible manner. As early as 5 a.m., the water is dirty. And as late as 9-10 o'clock in the night, the water is also dirty because of the mining operation that is taking place down in the community of Hillside.
PNP caretaker for West St. Thomas, Hubert Williams, was also on site. He called for a balance between economic activity and community well-being, saying mining and access to clean water must be able to coexist.
There's a culture where the resident would go to the river whenever there's no water at the pipe. Now we have a situation where we can't use the river again. The community just can't use the river because the miners make the river so muddy and mucky. It just cannot be used. So we are saying the regulators need to get up and start to do their job. Regulate the miners. We know they have a life to live. We know they have a business to run. But the residents also need the river. We need to coexist. We are not here to fight against the miners.
Williams, who has been touted as a potential candidate for the next general election, also renewed his earlier promise to deliver consistent water access if elected to serve as a member of parliament. Now for residents, they say their lives remain disrupted, and until something is done, they will continue to raise their voices in protest. Raymond Morrison, CVM News.
And we will continue with News at Noon in just a moment.
The new name in forklift sales and rentals in Jamaica. Top quality, low prices, fleet discounts available, 12-month warranty, free service parts, daily rentals, crazy cheap. Ashman's Equipment, same forklift, better deals.
Every dream conquered is another dream game. I land and I fly again like a jet plane. Headed straight in your direction. 'Cause I'm wiser, one step closer. I'm winning 'cause I work so hard. And the music is a play, and the people them I say we are my show tonight. Oh, what a feeling! Don't stop dreaming. Keep on believing in the power of the feeling. Whatever you want, take a chance. Song in your heart, step in your dance. You got a spark, don't put it down. Shine your lights on.
Come and tell me what is bothering you, Krishna. Come on.
If Mummy wins tomorrow's competition, then she will leave and take me away.
I won't allow that.
So the court gives the order that from today, Krishna's legal guardian will be her father, Mr. Sagar Chaturvedi.
I don't want to hear Ganga's name again as long as I live.
Ganga.
Brought to you by
Hyundai or Hyundai.
Our guest today has competed in 5 Olympic Games. I'm talking about Jamaica's most decorated swimmer. It's none other than Aaliyah Atkinson. Do you know that Jamaica is very proud?
But I never got that while I was swimming. In 2014, I was the first person of color, male or female, to ever get a world record in swimming.
Wow.
And I was like, seriously? And you take the little girl from Jamaica to do it?
We're really looking at something and saying in 2020 something, there's a first black person to do something. You are that person.
Swimming is another obstacle that we need to overcome. I think as a nation, living on an island and having so many gullies and rivers and lakes.
Hey, you're up to the gullies, you know?
Welcome back. The police continue to remind motorists to heed road warnings and reduce their speed. Now, 2 crashes meters apart between Ferry St. Catherine and Kingston at the start of the work week are examples of why these pointers are critical to daily commute. More from Druselle Mills.
It was a close call for passengers in a motor vehicle collision at the intersection of Malines Road and Washington Boulevard early Monday morning. The incident unfolded at around 4:53 and left several people nursing injuries. Fortunately, no deaths. Police reports are that a Toyota Coaster bus traveling in an easterly direction collided with a Toyota Axio traveling in the opposite direction. The severity of the impact caused the bus to overturn.
The driver of the bus was in the filter lane
When the light changed to green, the driver apparently proceeded to make a right turn onto Molynes Road. A Toyota Axia motor car that was traveling in the opposite direction drove into the intersection and collided with the left side of the bus. As a result of this collision, the bus overturned, causing damage and injuries to several persons.
ACP Mackenzie says while persons suffered injuries, none was very serious and those rushed to the hospital have since been released. Motorists are being urged to abide by the Road Safety Act. His warning comes amid another crash that happened in the vicinity of Ferry. The incident saw another bus on its side and several passengers attempting to flee the mangled metal. Speeding has been accused as the chief culprit in that crash as well. There have been no reports of fatalities. Druselle Mills, CVM News.
A bold new social intervention program took centre stage in Parliament as Labour and Social Security Minister Pernell Charles Jr. formally outlined the government's $1 billion Solidarity Program, a targeted initiative aimed at reaching 50,000 of Jamaica's most vulnerable citizens. We'll have that story for you right after this. Stay with us.
Registered voters. Remember to collect your renewed voter ID card before the upcoming general election. If you registered to vote in 2016 or after and did not get your new ID card, it may have been automatically renewed. Simply visit your EOJ constituency office to collect your voter ID card. Contact the Electoral Office of Jamaica at 888-991-VOTE or 922-0425-9 for more information.
The time by Subaru is 12:15.
From politics to global events, from social issues to breaking news, Lead Story Prime dives deeper, cuts through the noise, and uncovers the stories that shape your world. Join us every Tuesday at 8 p.m. for Lead Story Prime with me, George Davis, for an hour of incisive analysis, expert interviews, and unparalleled coverage of the issues you care about. Lead Story Prime, your front row seat to the most compelling discussions. Lead Story Prime, where the truth comes first. Only on CVM TV.
We welcome you back now with details of that story where Labour and Social Security Minister Pernell Charles Jr. has formally outlined the government's $1 billion Solidarity Program, a targeted initiative aimed at reaching 50,000 of Jamaica's most vulnerable citizens.
The program, which offers a one-time $20,000 cash grant, is designed for Jamaicans who are not currently enrolled in any existing government support schemes, such as PATH, NIS or the Social Pension Program. Social Security Minister Pernell Charles Jr. says it's more than just a lifeline and will target the most vulnerable across all parishes. In the case of successful applicants who may be of working age but unemployed, he says skills opportunities will be provided along with training.
This includes the elderly without formal support, youth who are not now employed, they're not in training, they're not in school, persons with disabilities who are in need, informal or low-income workers who are in need, the medically indigent, micro-business owners who have been affected by disaster within the last year, and the several Jamaicans who we know have never before been able to register for any of these programs for lack of the required documentation, particularly having no birth certificate.
Charles told the House that the program will be rolled out through parish-level community fairs starting this month, with disbursements set to begin on July 28. A new Solidarity unit within the ministry will deploy 40 liaison officers to conduct outreach, while MPs and civil society groups will help identify beneficiaries.
3 helplines, 876-676-5699, 876-676-5697, 876-922-8000 to 13. Again, as I mention those, let me say to the public one more time. The digital platform is not live for individuals to go on and make submissions. We've received several calls about that, so I just want to clarify that. The first phase will be for the members of parliament.
But the opposition raised red flags. Some questioned the timing and transparency of the rollout, warning that the program could be used as a political tool ahead of the next general election. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister has been defending the initiative, calling it a moral obligation to those left out of the social safety net at the launch recently. Applications for the Solidarity Programme can be made online, through MPs or at parish offices. The government says it will monitor uptake closely and adjust the programme based on public feedback. Angela Melville, CVM News.
Internationally now, the U.S. Agency for International Development has officially ceased to exist more than 60 years after it was founded. Its remaining functions have been transferred to the State Department. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says foreign assistance will now be limited and targeted. Here's more from